Hi, I'm Jessica England.
And I'm Mahshid Hoseini.
And we are here to talk to you today about what you can do if your ex is not allowing you to vaccinate your child.
And this is a really interesting topic because I don't know about you, Jessica, but I'm seeing it come up a little bit more often. And I think the first thing that you need to do is you need to look to see who has the authority to make such decisions. And under our law, unless there is a court order or an agreement that says otherwise, generally the guardians both have that decision-making power with respect to the child's medical care, and that does include whether or not the child can get vaccinated. What do you do if you're in a situation where both parties have that authority and one person doesn't consent, or one party has that decision-making authority and the other party doesn't agree? And so the only thing you can really do is make a court application and get the court's assistance in the matter. And the fundamental factor that the courts look at is the best interest of the child.
That's right, and we have a good example of our court considering that in a 2012 case. And in that case, the husband wanted the child to be vaccinated, the mom did not. Among her concerns was the level of mercury in the vaccinations, a possible link with autism, and also the experience of relatives who I guess had a bad reaction after having received childhood vaccines. So the father hired an expert, and that expert talked to the dad, the mom, and also looked at the child's medical records. And that expert at trial made the recommendation that the risks of receiving the vaccine were not as great as the benefits of getting the vaccine. In fact, he said the risks were very small. The judge accepted that evidence, and in fact, she gave the father the ability to make all medical decisions regarding vaccinations going forward. So I think the key takeaway from that case is that the court will look at the risks generally to children from vaccines, the benefits of them receiving the vaccine, but also the risks and benefits to that specific child that they're talking about.
And I think another case that showcases what Jessica just talked about is also a 2012 decision. And in that particular case, the father opposed was against some vaccinations, but not all of them. And the mother had applied to court to get that sole decision-making ability because she obviously thought their son needed to be vaccinated. And at the time of trial, the son was 7 years old, and there was no expert evidence that was led in that case. So the court struggled a little bit with making the decision because, as Jessica said, there was no opinion about that specific child. The mother did present the judge with the case that Jessica actually just talked about, and so the judge did have before him some type of expert opinion, but again, it was noted that while that opinion was great and informative, it wasn't about that particular child in the case at hand. And so what the judge did there was that he ordered the father to go talk to the son's family doctor and see what the family doctor advised, and basically listen to the advice of the family doctor. And for me, the takeaway there was that if you are making an application, be sure to have some type of medical opinion or expert evidence. General evidence is great, but particularly about the child in question, because each case is fact dependent.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
So I think that those are two very good examples of the way the courts have dealt with this issue. If you have a problem with your ex not allowing you to vaccinate your child, or if your child has a medical issue that you're afraid poses a risk if they are vaccinated, you should talk to your medical professional and also a legal professional about your options. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.